Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Culture Review. Looks like my camera is stuttering, so this actually plays to my benefit because I won't be on camera very much today. I'm having issues with my eyeballs, so we will will be having me a little bit more off camera than normal. But we've got a great show for everybody. I think we have incredible guests, including a very special person I've been trying to get on for a while, somebody who made themselves available through extra special effort, and I appreciate that. It's Lady Gravemaster. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Culture. Thank you for having me and everybody here. I'm happy that I was able to make it today.
Well, I'm very appreciative. I know it took an extra special effort, as I said, to get you here. So thank you very much for that. Immediately next to Lady G is the amazing AFK Bard. How's it going, AFK? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, hey, I know, right? The downside to working during the week is that you can only plan family stuff on the weekend. So,
right.
Yeah, I keep booking it. I'm just so popular.
Hey, look, if you can hang out with your family, and they tolerate you, then more power to you. I'm happy for you. So, I always feel like that's something that ends up missing in a lot of people's lives is the opportunity to spend time with family. So. That's great. Next up, of course, right below me is our friend Shellbach, TJC. What's going on, Shelly?
Greetings. As always, I'm just happy to be here and to see how long it takes for the Wi-Fi to start malfunctioning. I'm in a nice little spot.
Okay.
Outside, but I have a covering over me, so in case it starts to sprinkle, and it appears one of my neighbors is having a nice Sunday morning doobie because it's the smell is in the air. So yeah, it's all good.
Oh boy. Oh well. Yeah.
Washington.
For that's right. There is parts of the country where that's just part of the day. Anyway, thanks for being here. I know I know it takes effort for you to do it as well, and we appreciate you. In case you guys don't know, Shellbach has a GoFundMe going right now in support of veteran. He's a veteran. So do check that out. Hopefully somebody can promote that in the chat for us. And then next up, we have, of course, Machiny 90 from Machiny Draws, our resident artist here on this panel. What's going on, Mach?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Machiny 90, artist in Australia. We welcome you to the Sunday Culture Review for September 26, 2021. And I'm very happy to announce that the brand new holographic stickers are officially live.
That's
and I will
awesome,
be showing them off. I will be showing them off on the Machiny live stream right after this. But in the meantime, check it out. I will put the link to the listing on the official. I'll put the link to the listing in the chat for you guys. Check it out. Please share it around. Get the word out. Like I said, we're going to be showing these off right after this. And we're going to be working on this one right here from last night. With this one will also be a sticker as well. Hashtag
And
it's not Matt's.
That's absolutely beautiful, my
So
friend.
yes,
It's gorgeous.
I'm very excited today. I'm very, very excited.
So very talented. We're so very lucky to have so much talent in our group of humans, on our fellowship. I love it. And last but not least, someone who is incredibly gifted in the ability to write, our friend Storyman Jack.
I wouldn't say incredibly gifted. I would say
okay.
that I get a lot done. I've told a lot of stories. I'm Storyman Jack. I'm actually writing. I've been writing stories like all week, nonstop. Every moment I have off and free, because I'm doing 31 stories for 31 days of October for Halloween. And this icon you see here is the first story, and it's a little lighthearted, but it's still a good story, and I'm proud of it because it's a family story. So some of the situations were actual situations that I just adapted into a little fun redneck story.
That's amazing. And I love the icon. I'm looking forward to Zombie Nana. I'm very stoked. So guys, this is an impressive undertaking.
Looks like some of my former in-laws.
Well, there you go.
Well, they look like some of my current family.
Oh boy.
I'm from Texas.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Culture. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. Don't bother me none at all. I'm just stoked because Storyman has spent an awful lot of time putting together these stories and just is grinding as fast as possible. Doing what he's doing is a tremendous undertaking. So I can't wait to see them all. Just like last year, I was digging all the stuff that we did with promoting your month of Halloween. I can't wait for this one. I'm stoked. So. All right. Well, this is the panel we have now. We have some other folks that are going to be dropping in later. We have some folks that'll be dropping off. Lady Gravemaster is going to be here for the first half, and then we have some other folks that'll pull in after that. So we're going to kind of rotate it around, in like little 45-minute swings for people that have to come and go, and then we will be here for about an hour and a half. So let's get started. We've got so many great folks here in the chat waiting for us. Of course, we have Liger Fan, Apollo Patriot, Brightest Day. Six is here, says happy Sunday. Hey, Six. Jock Nerdy is joining us. What's going on? Our friend Keely Chow, our major moderator, Lord Thoth. Xenomorph is here. Interesting guest indeed, no doubt about it. Amazing guest, to be honest with you. She's very, very awesome. We've got Rogue Disney. Hey, Rogue Disney. Matt G is here. The loose joystick is in the house. Mispronounced is here as well. Commander Ed Straker of Shadow. What's going on, my friend? And of course, Judicon is here. Hail to you, Judicon. Good to see you, my friend. Storyman Jack is on the panel. Your Muslim uncle. What's going on, my friend? It's so great to see you. I think Mutant Bamhammer is doing traditional Oyos on my boyos. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you. Thanks for being here. Mr. Shirt. What's up, Mr. Shirt? Good to see you. Great to see you. We have he's excellent moderator as well. We're very gifted with mods here on this channel. Mark Santos is here. Kip Ellis is in the house. What's up, Kip? Good to see you, buddy. KR Nut 82 is here. Let's see. And I think I said hi to Rogue Disney. What's up, Rogue Disney?
Disney needs to go rogue.
Yeah.
Go to your namesake and tell them to whatever plan that they are on, they need to abandon it.
There you go. Very good. That's true. TZ Canadian says, good morning, Culture and Panel. Good morning to you. So as we get started, let's dive right in. Okay. The first story is going to be kind of weird. And we kind of prefaced it a little bit. Hey, Zevius. Wow. A lot of people showing up. Hey, Raging Rhino's here. What's up, my friend? Hey, Rhino. It was good to see you on the Full Aussie yesterday. Yeah, you guys are in a weird place. Let's just put it in those terms. My friend down in Australia. Yeah, we love all you guys. Just the normies here. Lola's in the house. What's up, Lola?
It's not often when you're laughing at the Full Aussie, but then like you pull up a video and get super angry the next second.
Yeah.
Nice mood swing for Saturday morning.
Yeah, it was really weird, and again, those guys are my Saturday morning cartoons. Of course, for them, it's night, they're getting ready to go to bed. I couldn't even imagine what they're dealing with right now, especially in different parts of Australia. It
makes you want to go help. It
It
does.
does. It does. You're inspired to be like, okay, at least you're seeing their population stand up to the tyranny, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to
Well,
dive
and
too
I'm a
deeply into.
Texan. I'm a Texan. That's in my blood.
Yeah. Well,
Remember the Alamo.
let's sidle away from that and try
Yeah.
to get more towards the pop culture aspect of things. Let's take a look at the upcoming films. Right, we've got a bunch of films that are about to hit the theaters here in the States and around the world. We've got one we'll talk about here towards the end of this conversation that we were talking about backstage. But I'd like to start out with James Bond. I know that this has been something that's been in the news for a long time. The long range box office forecasts here are interesting. I think they're very what's the word, optimistic when it comes to the numbers that they're anticipating this film to do, but they need to be, and they need those optimistic numbers to be true. Have any of you guys seen any of the hype around this film? Let's start with that. Lady Gravemaster, what is your impression of this film going into it, seeing No Time to Die? Is it something that interests you? Are you excited? Is this going to be something you go see in a theater? Or are you going to wait?
James Bond interests me. This is not James Bond, like based on the promotional material and everything that all the news that has dropped, what the directors have said, the fact that this movie started filming in 2017 and was supposed to be released in 2019, and now we are almost at the end of 2021. I have a lot of, I guess, grounded expectations. The only way that this film would subvert my expectations if it turns out to actually be a Bond film and not him being led around by the hand by Lashana Lynch's character. And quite frankly, I'm shocked that they're going to stick with the male M at this point.
Well, I mean, so, but a lot was said this week by Daniel Craig himself to that end, that he doesn't think that that you have to make Bond a woman. You just need to write better roles for women.
Do you think that now that do you think he's saying that now because he's no longer restricted by something?
No, because he is still
Or do you
definitely
think he's
restricted.
just saying that to save the movie?
I think he's trying to save the movie. Sorry, go ahead, AFK Bar.
Oh, no, you go. I'm totally interested. It's cool.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think what he's coming out and saying this now because they are looking at what they need. If it's true that they need $900 million to break even on this film, that is not making a profit. Like that, like people don't understand. Breaking even is not a success. You would have been no worse off if you had never made this movie, basically. So the fact that if it's true that it needs $900 million to break even, that means that what they are looking at is a David and Goliath situation where they are both David and Goliath. They're their own worst enemy in this.
You're right, and here's the story to support that, by the way. But keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's just that they have put themselves in this predicament of they've doubled down on the woke. They've doubled down on the intersectionalism. I'm sorry, but when Lashana Lynch is the biggest turnoff for this film, she should have never been able to do press for this film because there is not a woman. AFK, back me up on this. We do not go in the bathroom and show each other our bloody tampons. Like, we don't do that.
I will confess that I've never encountered anybody who did that, just in general. That's just honestly, that would be the equivalent of saying that, oh, well, since he's a guy, right, we need to have that scene where he has a wet dream and has that awkward moment in the morning where he's got to clean it up to show that he's just a normal guy. It's just like nobody wants to see that for anybody on either side of the spectrum. It's just stupid.
It is like we don't the obsession. I mentioned this. I actually put a comment on Gary's video over the his James Bond video recently. The obsession that Hollywood has currently with menstruation is extremely disturbing because they are blowing it up into something that most women, like, it's a week of hell during the month. We just want to get through it and like carry on with life. You know what I mean? And they're trying to turn it into this weird, almost fetishizing it. But that's literally what we've kind of approached. And it's getting to the point where no woman wants to see that, like, at all. And I seriously doubt, I don't know, there's plenty of men on this panel. Do any of you want to sit there and listen to that?
No.
Right? Like,
no.
Nope.
the
I
pretty
can't handle
jokes
it
of
when
black-
my significant other talks about it.
That's no for me.
Yeah,
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean,
the black
it's a
Widow
part of
period
life when
jokes
you're
about- yeah.
It's nobody wants to know who goes pooping when either.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
Unless the
Ugh.
bathroom is part of the plot in a movie, like, a comedy, you don't need to know that the character is using it.
Right.
yeah. Like, I keep thinking about that
Or
scene.
unless if it's like part of a fight scene,
Well, right, exactly. Like, if it's
Yeah.
there for a reason.
like
then
in Mission
it's a good-
Impossible.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that are best kept understood in a story, you know?
Yeah. It's like, oh, so
Exactly.
it's different. So there is, like, if this had been, like, there was a documentary a while back, and it was challenges only females face on the front lines. And even though women aren't even really out on the front lines in the same way that men are, there's still different MOSs that had them, in combat. And yes, you do go through, like, that makes sense. It's like, hey, here's how you, but it was to benefit women in that situation. It was like, hey, here's how you can stay hygienic when stuff like this happens. Or, hey, this is what you can do when you have this problem. Because so that was informative and helpful and not put into an escapist spy action thriller for gags or for empowerment. It was literally to be like, hey, women who are going through this, here is what you can do to try and make it easier on yourself. You know what I mean? But even they were more classy with their explanation than tossing a tampon into the trash in front of people to purposefully get a reaction is a different kind of sadistic, in my humble opinion.
Is that an actual scene, or was that just like them just joking? Because I feel like if they were joking, it was probably them being serious, but having already cut it because they knew people would be angry at this point.
Well. To be fair, now that was part of a conversation about the discussions of how they wanted to present the character. I don't know necessarily that that's a scene in the film. See, the problem is the context that all this has been delivered. I think because they are not they didn't say that was actually in the film. It was a conversation about being in the film. If that shows up in the film, it won't be the first time in recent history that we've seen something odd like that. It's going to feel out of place. If movies are judged by, if you were to judge a film by how many times you get pulled out of the story, I would imagine at that point you're pulled out of the story, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or am I wrong? I mean,
So-
for most people,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part is this is the least disgusting thing about Hollywood.
wow,
You know what I'm
that's a
saying?
strong statement.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, look
uh,
at these people. Look at these people.
Well-
Look at what they do. Look at what they talk about. Look at how they're elitist, how they can do whatever they want, and they're shoving garbage down our throats and telling us to like it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that there's underlying things in Hollywood that is disgusting. And from my research that I've done in the last year, this is one of the least disgusting things about Hollywood.
True that.
I personally don't think it's going to be like as terrible as like it sounds like it's going to be. But I do feel that the marketing itself is really killing the movie. Like, just say,
Right.
like, if no one had said a single thing about this movie, had just put the trailer out, and there'd be upset about that one line in it about the woman or whatever. But I mean, like, there wouldn't be this blanket of like distaste that's kind of spread, like I feel like it could just be a bad movie, just period, on its own. But the marketing itself has just like made it into such a beast,
Well,
I'm
not
gonna be
just that.
perfectly
We've seen the
honest,
woke
the
marketing backfire before.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
moment they lost me was the moment they said that the term Bond girls was banned offset. I was like,
Oh, right, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
That's when you lost me.
But again, you also so they brought in you bring in somebody specifically for a certain kind of story type. When you see the name Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who, if you watch the show Fleabag, both seasons of it, you would understand she is a shock content, writer. She tries to do it in the context of humor. But it is, if you watch that, it was shock value like times in many different episodes that, kind of took something and in what some people might consider a comedic way, kind of shat on it, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So
I just, again, you have to take her history of what she presents and then that's all we have right now, because she's a known quantity in that, in a few things, but when it comes to this film, she was brought in specifically for that. The commentary around that. This is the other problem, I think, is the trade magazines bring a lot of this conversation to the forefront that maybe isn't in the underlying material, right? Or maybe isn't even part of whatever they're saying. It sounds like sometimes if you read the trades, the Wrap, you read Variety, you read Deadline, it's like a wish list of things that they want out of these people, right? They're projecting upon them their expectations for what they're going to put in the film. I mean, maybe I'm wrong there, but I don't think so. But we kind of ventured far afield. I unless anybody else has commentary on that.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
So and we're still talking about kind of general interest, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So this is coming from somebody who isn't interested in James Bond as much as my dad is. So, what you said, late Gravemaster, kind of what killed you, what sold you off was the whole we're gonna ban the word Bond girls from the from production. I think the thing that completely just gave me the warning signs was the inclusion of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and considering her history, especially her history in writing. Her portrayal L337 in Solo's Star Wars story. By the way, Solo lost money.
No, she's responsible for that. I literally
she's
have
the voice of L337.
Yeah, I haven't encountered a single thing she's done, but now that I know that just that is her, I hated that so much.
I know. It's
awesome.
But what kind of worried me was when they brought in Lashana Lynch, I knew exactly where they were going to take. And we've seen this before over and over again, especially when they bring up the whole there's supposed to be a scene that is where you have, I think it's Q who says come in 007, and here comes Lashana Lynch. And they bring up this whole how she is immune to James Bond's charm because she's a strong, independent woman who didn't need no man. That's where the red flag started to begin.
Oh my gosh.
And it kept going. Like, it kept going and going and going. So seeing, Daniel Craig say, what he was saying, it does feel like this is damage control, or this is trying to turn us around because people already know what's going to happen. And by the way, I'm going to say this. Her as 007 is not a popcorn dropping moment. You are so full. These people are so full of it. Get your head out of your
throwing moment.
Yeah, it's not a popcorn dropping moment. Get over yourself. We've seen this time and time again, and it's never surprising. Just like what they said in WandaVision was the Luke Skywalker moment. No, it's not.
Yeah, and that's what they want to replicate, right? Yeah, somebody good does something good for the fans, and they want to replicate it, but they want to twist it, and they want to.
Yep.
James Bond to me is in my soul. I grew up with it. My parents watched it. I've written stories based on it, and they're on my channel now. There's 3 of them, and I'm going to do more. That it's. And then, it's like everything else. This is Hollywood self-destructing. It's all it is. And Culture mentioned the trades. It's all of these things combined are burning themselves to the ground. And eventually, it's going to be good in the end.
And on top of that, and to kind of add what Storyman Jack was saying, was that I have even as somebody who was like, if this was my first Bond film, I would not be interested. I would be like, what is this? Are you sure this is James Bond? Because this is not what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the thing that made me say, you know what, screw this film, was the directors calling what James Bond calling James Bond a rapist. Don't say
Yeah, we shouldn't have said that word.
rapist.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got to not say it.
Yeah, we can't say that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
A man who
Wait,
draped
that's why I say
flowers.
rape. That's what I say rapist. Yeah, that was
and I don't know how much you guys can understand how much it hurts me not to be able to say things.
Right.
Yeah,
but it was.
Oh yeah.
Right, but it was those comments that made me say, okay, you're clearly trying. It's not just that you want to change James Bond and change the new hierarchy and such. You want to destroy everything in the past. You want to make sure that everything is labeled. Everything that James Bond did in the past was problematic. Yeah. So in that sense, no, you're not going to make 900 million. You're not going to break even.
Well, in a broader sense, though, the goal is to erase anything in the distant past, anything up to like the last 20 years. That's the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, in order to change, to have a revolution like what they did in China and other places, you have to destroy everything that came before.
Right.
Because you don't want people to be able to look back and say, well, we've seen this pattern before, and we've seen the results of it. I mean, it's the same thing with this. You're seeing, different things being maneuvered in specific ways so that they can get away with doing a lot of the stuff that happened in 40s Germany. But I don't want to dive too deeply into that. What I need to do is acknowledge some of the super chats that came in that I didn't get a chance to highlight and lost them. So, and then we'll continue on. But the Loose Joystick sent me a $2 super sticker, which is a 1-up, a hippo biting a 1-up. Thank you for that. Judicon sent me a $4 super sticker. Thank you for that, my friend. A cup of coffee, which I desperately need, trying to stave off this massive migraine that I've got right now. And another super sticker from the Loose Joystick for $3. Thank you for that, my friend. I do appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. I really appreciate all the support for the show and our guests that are here today. And one guest that did join us that I didn't get a chance to acknowledge is our friend Jed, who showed up a little bit late. What's going on, Jed?
Yeah. Thank you, Culture. It was my puppers. It was raining, so he was taking a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's still a puppy, so.
Yeah, and they're a challenge and they're fun. Super fan Adam Shawhan's in the house. What's going on? Glinzer showed up.
What kind of dog is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey LT,
Jed,
what's up? Yeah.
Jed, what kind of pup is it?
Oh, we don't. He's a Heinz 57.
There you go.
So
that's kind.
We don't know what exactly all he is. We think water-haired terrier and a bunch of other stuff. So.
That's cool. We all love animals here. I mean, you can ask.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. And Glinzer, this is really funny. A bad movie, period. Double entendre. No, it was definitely, well done. But we don't know that yet. And I am not going to make a judgment on the film till I see it. I like James Bond. I don't know. I grew up with this. My grandfather introduced me to this thing. In fact, you would oftentimes go to his house and there would be a Bond film playing on one of the televisions. So it's it's kind of cool. I mean, I was introduced to this that way, and I absolutely love James Bond. I own them all in multiple formats at this point. Right.
My dad has the VHS collection and
Yeah.
the DVD collection.
Yeah,
My
and
dad
I have
is-
VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray because I'm extra special stupid.
My dad
Yeah.
is. I think he's a big fan of. I think it was the Brosnan era. Not so much the I guess like the Connery as well, but he is probably one of the bigger Daniel Craig era fans I've seen.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I think Timothy Dalton. I think Dalton he didn't get a fair shake. Like I don't
Ooh,
think he
there's-
got a fair shake, and I think Lazenby.
Lazenby.
Instead of trying to let Lazenby be Bond, they were trying to make him Sean Connery. Like even if you watch like the marketing for on Her Majesty's Secret Service, they are saying the Bond who is like Bond but different. Like he's like Connery but different. So they were even trying to market him
That's weird.
as Connery, but just with like slightly different features. And of course, when you
yeah, it's.
Oh no, I was going to say for anybody that's seen. I'll stop. You go.
Go ahead. Ahead. I was just going to say, yeah. I mean, the problem with Bond movies is that they get such an iconic person that does really well with the role, and it's and I get it. It's very difficult to replace a person like that. And some of these actors just don't get a fair shake. I liked Lazenby and I liked Dalton. I thought they were fine Bonds. They were just different, and that's the beauty of Bond. I liked was it Casino Royale? I liked one of the Craig Bond.
The first one, Casino Royale.
First one was Casino Royale.
Yeah, I liked that one. You know, I liked the story. I knew he was not a prototypical Bond, but he still did a good job. And it just didn't. It's the writing. To me, it always boils down to the writing. And
I think Casino Royale and Skyfall were awesome. So
yeah, Skyfall was good.
Storyman, you actually bring up an important point that I was hearing, and I'm talking about this in general. I heard about it earlier this week that whenever we have stuff like this, a lot of times it's like we're either going to blame you can't blame like the actor because that's just a job. It's just a job they're taking. You can't really blame like the director because that's just, they're doing what is given to them on the script and they have to work with. I honestly think with a lot of stuff that's been going on recently, the fault of blame lies squarely on the writer.
Well,
yeah. Well, okay. Before I get, it's just I see it a lot of stuff recently. I feel like a lot of blame is where we're placing. A lot of people will place the blame on stuff is bad because of this, because of that. I think when you break it down, it really comes down to who is the person who wrote this script, who wrote the script, who wrote all these in here.
I would say it's the one who says it's a good script. Like anybody could write a script and hand it off to somebody and take that job, but the person who reads it and says that it's a good script is the problem.
Right, people who sign it off, yeah.
And I can agree with that to a point. I think there are outside forces upon that writer, but again, they brought this young lady in to write. They brought Phoebe Waller-Bridge in to write. Okay, so that is an executive decision and a writing decision, right? If it does turn out to be woke. If it's not, I mean, we've seen movies before that were marketed as super woke and then they weren't.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm willing to watch it and give it a chance because it's Bond, but, I don't have a lot of faith.
Right. And a lot of it is because of what you're saying. And not just the writer, it can also be the marketing. Like you saw that with Birds of Prey of how bad the marketing was. It kind of ruined my interest in the film, and it probably ruined a lot of people's interest in the film.
I think a lot more people would have given it a chance if it wasn't woke marketing.
Right. Like I think the same thing kind of falls with, what we're seeing here with No Time to Die and why Daniel Craig said what he said, because I think it's just they're seeing, I think deep down inside, he's seeing what the marketing is going on, and the marketing isn't helping.
It's actually making
Yeah,
it
but that's true about a lot of stuff now. Is
Right.
I call it counter marketing. It's been
Mhm.
happening for a while. They try to get traction by bringing out people that don't like it, and of course they say the people that don't like it they call them a bunch of names.
Yeah.
And that's where they get their traction. Well, they think that's where they get their traction. It hasn't borne a lot of fruit. I mean, you look at what happened when Miller tried to do it with the recent Terminator movie. That thing
Right,
flopped
with Dark Fate, yeah.
hard. But I want to acknowledge Darth Astor's super sticker. Say thank you for the Doomacorn. I also want to thank Disease for showing up. I did not threaten you, Disease.
So I got to do Doomacorn?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I have to
I
get the
haven't
thing
done
up.
this in like ever. I haven't
There
done
it
this
is.
in a long
Okay.
time.
There you go. Thank you. See, and that's Machiny, guys. Machiny 90.
Yeah,
Thank you very
Machini's
much.
awesome, man.
I know, I love
Yeah.
it. But here's the real thing, and I want to get back to the story because it's really easy to pull far afield on this because we're all kind of passionate about Bond, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and some of us that are a little older, like Shellbach and myself and Storyman, we've been invested in this for a long time, and I just when we look at the story itself, right, that it needs 900 million to break even. On its best day, I don't think it's possible. Now, there's a reason these numbers came out the way that they did, and this goes back all the way to August 10th when this thing actually came out. Joe Blow was covering it, and they even cite the source for the story, right? So going out here, it's actually Company's House in the UK that actually came up with these numbers. They talk about the film being budgeted at 199.5 million pounds. And then because of interest, it got to 214 million pounds. A year later, that figure is 226 million pounds or 314 million American dollars, right? And if you now factor in, this film has now been marketed 4 times. I don't think they're attributing enough to that, but they're saying that the amount jumps to about 464 after marketing and promotion. So
So do you think this is why they had such a hard time getting it distributed?
They were trying to sell it. If you remember, they tried to sell it to Apple, Amazon, and somebody else. I think HBO Max. Netflix. That's it. Yeah.
Netflix.
For 600.
Does that explain the delays as well?
Who
Because
knows?
they were trying to sell. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to sell it for $600 million so that they could at least eke out, something out of it, right? And to make a profit. And nobody was going to give them more than 3 or 350 from what was out there in the world. So I don't know. My question is this. Is it going to make $928 million? And because we have our guest here, and we've only got Lady Gravemaster for probably another half hour, I think. Let's see what she thinks.
I think that realistically, this film will maybe break 450 million if it is an intersectional woke travesty like it's been marketed to be. Wow. If on opening weekend people go and it is actually a James Bond film that has a good story and it doesn't cuck James Bond, it doesn't cuck James Bond, like that scene where she's like, I'll put a bullet in your knee, the one that works. And we don't see him, we don't see him come back with a comeback. But if he does have a quip and he is, like bantering with them and he's actually being James Bond, I think that this movie, because the other thing too that people really have to keep in mind, people are desperate for escapism. Like they want to enjoy something. They want to go somewhere. They want to do something. They want to go back to the theater. Like they're out of the habit because they're like, oh, I can just stream it on my TV. But if you give them something worth going, they will go. So if it turns out to actually be a James Bond film, I think it might hit 720. But that would be as high as I think this film would be able to go.
And I think you're being very generous.
I am being very generous, but I think that it is possible. It's just not probable.
Yeah, wow. I think you're probably right, and I think that what I put up here from Andre Enrico is probably fairly accurate as well. That Daniel Craig is playing the smart game now. He decided, wow, this is going to affect my bottom line, and therefore I need to market this thing properly. And if, again, I mean, I've seen some of the scenes, right? I mean, and we've all seen all the multiple versions of the trailers. The international trailers are the ones that give you some greater insight. And the international trailer version of this is different marketing than it has been in the States recently. So just keep that in mind. When you see the final trailer, that's a final U.S. trailer. It doesn't account for the other places that the film's marketed. I mean, recently, the trailer for Dune dropped in China, and their trailer has a lot more straightforward information than anything that we've seen here in the U.S. or even in many of the European.
It's giving me hope.
So
Dude,
yeah,
giving me hope.
It looks really cool. We'll get into it because that's a conversation. This is a side conversation we can have. I don't know if anybody's interested, but Diablo 2 came out, the remake. I'm not interested in getting it not just for the reason that I don't want to give Blizzard my money, but because I played this game already. Yeah. So I can watch other people play it on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever. Are any of you interested in picking this up? I'm just curious.
Nope.
I'm probably going to get it so my son can play it because he didn't really play the first one.
Okay.
I'm not going to get it because I'm not going to give them my money after all they've done. So, just can't.
Same. Secondhand. I'll buy it in like a month.
Yeah, no, it's just I don't want to give Blizzard my money. And two,
yep.
Even if I was interested in Blizzard, I admit finding out about what they were doing with the censorship and the reason why they're doing it, especially equating it to what's been going on with the lawsuit, that's an instant turnoff for me. No. And it's something and before you go, Culture, and that's something I see, that's something I've been seeing going around, especially on Twitter nowadays, is that they're equating censorship of certain things to if we support this kind of thing, like if we don't support the censorship, then you're equating us to what's been going on with the Activision Blizzard lawsuit. Right. And that is incredibly dishonest and in some ways kind of dangerous too.
Yeah,
it is.
A lot of good programmers and employees, and artists, and there's a lot of good people at Blizzard. There really is. I mean, just in their offices there in Austin, I mean, I know some of those people. They're really good people. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a shame that the executives are such. I don't have a word, but because there are really good people that have sacrificed a lot just to work there.
Oh, I know, and
they're making
sucks.
like a quarter of industry standard at Blizzard.
Yeah. And a lot of that, but a lot of that, Jack, they attribute to the fact that that's a launching point for those people for their career.
But they're also being abused.
Well, that happens in a lot of these creative industries, which is why right now, and this wasn't going to be a subject for today's conversation, but that's why the IATSE is about to go on strike, which means both television and film productions, as far as the actual people that make those things happen, they are going to go to work. Local 44 is kind of required, in California, right? So it's these conversations around these types of issues. They don't want to have the uncomfortable conversations because it points the finger back at them. It's easier for them to point the finger at every one of us, and they think it has multiple benefits. Well, here's the benefit it doesn't have anymore: people getting invested in this stuff. Right. And here's the thing. I mean, you're going to have less and less humans taking their kids to see films. They may not even be. I mean, based on demographic breakdown, participation in consumption of linear media, terrestrial television, those types of things, that's been plummeting for quite some time. And it continues to go down. And it had an accelerated move at a time when it absolutely shouldn't have. Oh, we lost someone. We lost them. When it shouldn't have, when everybody was locked up at home. I mean, that is
Yeah.
the weirdest phenomenon you've ever seen. There was an increase in certain streaming consumption, but it didn't correlate to the
But
linear.
look at what we've been hit with, though. 2Ds, all this other garbage. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just.
Do not get me
I mean,
started on
it's
that.
getting to the
It's
point
Well-
where if I don't give somebody my money because I don't like them, I'm not watching anything.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's getting to that point.
And I don't support I honestly don't support censorship, and I don't support the demonizing of people who don't support censorship.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. And that's getting back to that. Last Tree says, I don't know anything about this Blizzard controversy. All I know is I love Diablo 3. Well, right now there are 4 different avenues
Lawsuits.
that are being exploited
One is
by
criminal,
various
isn't it?
Mhm.
by
Mhm.
various entities in both California and at a federal level.
Yep.
So there are 4 different avenues being pursued against Activision Blizzard right now, and they've been losing executives left and right because nobody wants to be there when the ship sinks, because they're in big trouble. And look, the abuse has been going on again. Like I said, I mean, you're seeing, there are certain people in the creative industries that they carry the weight. And going back 2 years, I mean, the IATSE was already talking about this before we moved into this global crisis that we've been in. So it's not new. It's just they make profit off the backs of the people that they exploit like that. And again, you take a job, you're required to live up to it, right? You're required to live up to the contract that you sign and everything else. But at a certain point, it's not worth it anymore. So that's why you had to put these organizations going on strike.
I'm going to make this statement, okay?
Yeah.
Because Blizzard was a small company in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just like the government. Anytime these entities become big, boards and corporations do not have hearts.
No.
The way that free market works, boards and corporations don't have hearts. That means the bigger the company, the more they're just by logic, they're going to end up exploiting their employees.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're
The
supposed
corporate influence.
Yeah, but they're supposed to. I mean, and again, exploitation is a little bit different. And we need to be careful.
The bigger the company, the easier it is for them to do because there's
absolutely. Well, yeah. But again, I mean, the corporation is still going to offer an employment contract to everybody. It's just, it just is what it is. I look at it like this. Your job as a corporation is to make and represent your stockholders' best interests, right?
Mm-hmm.
The employer is there to make a profit. It doesn't matter at what level. I mean, the guy that's selling donuts at the donut shop, he owns this, local donut shop. He wants to make a profit. So he hires his employees, pays them what he considers fair, but he can still eke out a profit, which is the whole point. He's in business.
However, my point is that small business owner has a heart. He knows his employees. He's going to care about them. They're not just numbers. Whereas that's why franchise businesses sometimes are run better because the giant entity is separated from the actual franchisee.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on those that weird kind of a thing. I just want to say hi to George. Hi, George.
Hi, George. George. Here's an interesting. So, we're talking about obviously, Blizzard and exploiting employees. I look back when I was like 19, 20 years old, and they'd be like, "Hey, can you go do this?" Or, "Hey, we need you to handle this." Or, ha 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 ha, you're funny. It's been longer than a couple.
Yeah.
But so I look back and I'm like, wow, I did a whole lot of stuff that was their job description and stuff like that, and I just did it. I was like, okay, yeah, like the other duties as assigned clause is their nice little catch-all. But what I have come to find from different experiences, were you guys aware? So tell me if you think this is fair. You have undergraduates who work in research, whether it's STEM or agriculture or whatever it may be. But you have undergrad students who are putting in 15 to 20 hours a week on, and consider this, they're also going to school full time and have all this other stuff going on. And the lead investigator on there, that's what they're called principal investigators, lead investigators on the project, on this research project, gets a grant for, say, $500,000 to pursue this research further and get paid out by whatever private or government entity that it is. But instead of paying the 4 or 5 undergrad students on their project, they're saying, oh, well, they're seniors, so it'll be their senior research project, and it'll be for their grade. Instead, we don't have to actually pay them anything, including no tuition waivers. Does that seem fair?
No.
Well, again, this is the other problem when universities and colleges have become profit centers now, and that's and I mean, they mean you can point towards the most successful version of that, which was Google, right? Or
Right.
Don't
whatever.
the Weinstein brothers talk a lot about this?
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
It's interesting because no, you're fine.
Sorry.
It's just interesting that this whole thing with Blizzard has blown up so big. And meanwhile, you've got students who, I mean, I don't know how many people have gone to college, but like, first of all, it is, with the exception of very few careers like doctors and lawyers and stuff like that, most college degrees are pretty much worthless. Like you're paying for debt that you're going to carry the rest of your life.
Yep.
With the exception of very, very few careers.
True.
And the fact that they are I'm just like, that to me, if you're not going to pay your undergrad students because you want this fancier microscope that you don't actually need for the project, but you just want to be able to brag that you have it. And so you're going to use it for the project, but now you can brag that you have this high-powered microscope and maybe get more grant money or whatever it is. You know what I mean? You're exploiting your undergrad students, and you're not paying them, and you're giving them no tuition waiver. And then you're going to tell them, oh, well, it will help you for your grade in a different class that I can't control. And I'm sorry if you're like, there's nothing they can do if their professor or their mentor is like, oh, that doesn't actually count. So now they've not gotten paid. They don't get the grade. They have nothing. They've wasted all of their research and time on this, and they're like, oh, well, it'll look good on your resume. That is also, by the way, unless you're actually doing charity work, never, ever, ever accept it will look good on a resume as a form of payment. That is some serious bullshit as well.
It's rough. There's no doubt about it. And the Gilk man has rolled by. I just wanted to say hi to
Thomas.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas. How's it going, buddy?
Nikki Deese's business is amoral by nature. Well, yeah. We have a lot of people here. We have Andre Enrico saying the bigger the company, the more the employee is just a number. Agreeing with
okay, so
Jack
Chick-fil-A is massive. I'm just going to say right now, I have friends that work for Chick-fil-A, and they said that they are never going to leave.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but wonderful things about Chick-fil-A. And again, I mean, that's a fast food joint.
And it's kind of the exception that proves the rule, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend there too that's worked there for 5 years, and he started out because he skipped college. And I said this, I told my friend, I was like, don't go to college, go to trade school and get a job at maybe Chick-fil-A or some place that's going to help you out, because they actually helped him out going through trade school. They literally did. And so now he's like, he went through there, and then now he's working on his AVAC, or what was that culture? AVAC. He's going to UTI or the refrigeration school
HVAC.
out here.
HVAC.
Yeah, he wanted to go to there, and then I said, pick up a trade, because brother, you're gonna need that later on, especially in the western or hotter states around the United States. That's always needed. Yeah. So
and Naked Fame says college sucks, trade school is better. I look, both have their place and they both need to exist. You need people to possess advanced education. We need education to actually advance, not what's been happening recently, not agenda driven.
Propaganda.
I mean, I have my job because I have a degree, but my degree is in English and I do IT. So we've gotten into this culture where a piece of paper matters more than your actual knowledge.
Yeah.
Daniel Hall says, I am an AIATSC member, stagehand, projectionist, unsure how SAG works regarding actors' contracts. Well, Screen Actors Guild, it's quite possible. I mean, we were on the verge of the talent going out on strike at a certain point in time, very recently. Recently, not very recently, but it's the same kind of thing. The unions are structured the same way when it comes to the creative the way they do business with the studios. There we go. And so, I was just trying to find the words, but it's very similar. So it's quite possible, because of how the Disney and the other studios are trying to change the way the contracts are written with their talent, so that there isn't this giant back end availability, and they're more of a tiered bonus structure. You meet this metric, get X. If it meets this metric, get X. Especially, it also frees them from the language that talks about whether or not something's going to be theatrically exclusive or not.
I have a question about that, though. Culture.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of contract they write, don't they hide crap anyway?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, every contract, anything you've ever signed in your life, is a bunch of hidden bologna sausage.
I mean, Hollywood is notorious about lying about their numbers, about how much.
Oh, it's happened forever. Yeah, and that's why now a lot of those contracts are written on grosses, not on net.
Right.
Because they saw problems there. Also, the biggest deal in the world that ever exposed a lot of this was what happened with Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson went after him. Right. Yeah. So that's a notoriously famous. I mean, they were hiding billions of dollars from that dude. Well, I mean, not it would go in his wallet, but I mean, they were hiding a ton of revenue.
Yeah, and it when I found that out, I was just oh man,
didn't they say it didn't make a profit?
They tried to say that. Yes,
they tried to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, New Line at the time. Before I think they sold out, right? Because that's who originally did that, right? I'm conflating two things. Anyways, the guy that set all that up in the front was in the position of nearly bankrupting the studios to make that happen, right? That particular studio, because of the 3 films at once and all of that. But it's just a weird thing. And I did a video on it way back, almost 2 years ago now, that talking specifically about this, because these are the kinds of things that, they don't get brought up enough. They're not in front of people's faces. They aren't present in the zeitgeist. Right. And they should be, because people should be aware that lots of problems in Hollywood have existed for a very, very long time. And obviously you have the casting couch problem. You have the contract issues that we were just talking about, where people are not being paid properly. They don't want to renegotiate streaming compensation with anybody, right? Because they want to call that home video, because it's more favorable for them. I mean, there's a lot of these things that are there, and now you have a battle between these agencies. Specifically CAA at this point, with Brian Lord, wanting to not have their actors and their own income drop because they won't have the availability of these giant back end deals on these huge grosses. Because that's ultimately what the whole Black Widow thing comes down to, is I want to get paid. I don't want my income to drop.
Yeah, everybody wants to get paid. Nobody wants to actually shell out the dough to pay, though.
Well, when your whole industry's foundation is based on the things that Hollywood's foundation is based on, I don't want to say things that shouldn't be said.
No.
When your whole foundation is based on lies and deceit and debauchery and greed, it's not going to last forever. It's just not.
No.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to couch everybody in those terms, Jack.
No.
That's unfair, because there are a lot of people that practice good things in that industry. There are respectable agents. They made an exaggerated movie about the life of one of them in the Jerry Maguire film, right? I mean, that was somebody else. That was a wide interpretation of somebody's life. right? So, but those are the kinds of things that you can say, well, this person is good. The exception, proves the rule. Maybe you want to use that, but I would say just like there are a huge group of good police, and there's this tiny little group of bad police.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Okay.
there
And
is.
the bad police are the ones that are ruining the reputation of all the other people doing good.
Well,
It's the same thing in any
I may have a different perspective because everybody that I know that worked in that industry, that they had to get out of it because of things. So,
well, so ultimately I want to wrap up this bond deal, and I want everybody to have their final word on it. I just want to say this thing isn't going to crack $1 billion, even though it did secure its China release, right? It did, as did Dune. Basically at the same time. So when No Time to Die comes out in China, that'll be the telltale, right?
well, the good news in my perspective, though, is there's been bad Bond films in the past, and I can go to another Bond film.
Yeah, they do tend to recover, no doubt about that. AFK, do you have any final thoughts on this? You haven't had a chance to say much.
Well, I personally I stopped watching it after I saw the second one he did, mostly because I just didn't feel like it was James Bond.
Right.
And it just felt like, some generic action stuff, and everybody was too miserable. So I didn't want to keep going back.
Wow.
And,
Amen.
That's a.
I think she hit I think AFK kind of hit the nail on the head with that one, because the thing I noticed with Daniel Craig's era Bond is that they were going way too much on the Jason Bourne kind of feel to it, and not like more of like a classical era like what we saw beforehand. And I'm trying to, I guess in some ways, trying to go for a more realistic take, which it worked. It seemed to kind of work within stuff like Casino Royale and Skyfall, what I've heard. But when you get to stuff like Spectre, it doesn't.
Oh, it was. First two were good, but Spectre, you just went in there, and I was just like, no, I can't. No, I can't. Like,
and my idea for the I don't know, the last minute advertising, it's a lot to me. It's a lot like the Batwoman trailer that came out back in the day, where there was a line in it that everybody hated, which was hold on, no. There's two different lines, and one of them
there were multiple, but yeah.
One of them made it into the episode, and the other one was cut because that was I can't remember which one it was. The one that was in the episode.
I'm not going to let a man take credit for a woman's work. Yeah, then there was a theme song.
And so they cut that part out, and then they kept the line in the episode that basically was like, it'll look better or be perfect when it fits a woman or something like that. And so that's kind of how that's how I feel about the James Bond trailer, is that they went back and they thought, oh, we've got a bunch of stuff in there that no one's going to want to watch. Let's take it out of the trailer and lure them in. And then, for the rest of for the rest of the movie, aka the first episode of Batwoman, they'll see exactly what they were expecting. And so it's like, if the movie is good, hey, all power to it. But I don't think that the content will change just because the trailer was edited.
Right. And I agree with you, but I do want to say this because George is here. George has this channel, George the Giant Slayer. He's getting ready to launch it. He's been doing all of the work necessary to get it going, so be sure you're supporting George the Giant Slayer's channel. George does an awful lot in support and of everybody here in our fellowship, right? So we're very grateful to him indeed. So
George is like he's supported us over there on the Archivist a lot too. So so like.
Well, he supported everybody.
He recently started coming over a lot, and I'm like so thankful to George too, because he's been really good to me, and we have some good conversations and stuff too. So
and here's the thing, Morb is right. A lot of people feel this way. So if they don't like you, you can not like them right back, I guess.
And I think to be fair, Culture, as to what I was saying earlier, I feel exactly like he feels.
Yeah,
they hate.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that.
But I will say, I just finished watching the whole season of Superman and Lois.
Oh yeah,
And that was an amazing
did a good
show that they can never take away that first season from us.
Oh
And that
yeah,
was
I
CW.
know.
Oh yeah.
Well,
And
that
that
one
was
wasn't
CW, so that
actually
gives us hope.
produced by the CW though. That was like
No.
somebody else, right?
Yeah, it was just distributed. It was just distributed by CW.
Yeah, I think we lucked out in the fact that the CW picked up a good show.
Yeah.
And
Well,
my
the-
worry is about second season is gonna
Yeah,
be
the second
bad.
season's where you always get lost
Mhm.
with that stuff.
Well, and
Um,
like I said, they can't take the first season away.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah, I know.
show.
See, and this is the fun stuff, right? The stuff we should be talking about is
Absolutely.
arguing about who was a better Bond. Was it Connery? Was it Moore? Was it Timothy Dalton? Was it
Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan?
Brosnan.
Yeah. So these are the things. E.T. is a Bond film. Like, maybe, I don't know. I haven't watched it in a bit. Who knows?
Wait, Goonies. was a
like I
Bond
said,
film.
that's the argument I want to have, right?
Yeah,
It's-
absolutely.
that's what fandom's all about is having the dumb argument over who's
Exactly.
who's the better Jedi master, right? Is
Or who's
is
the
it-
better superhero? Who's gonna
Yeah,
win between
yeah.
Spider-Man
Qui-Gon
and
Jinn is
Superman?
the best Jedi Master. Period.
There you go. See, and
If
they have
everybody could just listen to him,
okay.
it'd be fine. We also wouldn't have the Disney trilogy.
I know, right?
Yeah, the Quantum of Solace was one of the worst Bond films I'd ever seen. And
That's what I was
saying
thinking
a
of.
lot.
Quantum of Solace.
And
Yeah.
honestly, one of the biggest reasons I'm so angry with Disney is because I thought it was going to be a good thing. I'm getting Star Wars.
I think more. I think you're right. A View to a Kill is an excellent Bond theme, but I also think "Live and Let Die" by McCartney and
love Live and
Wings
Let
is
Die.
also
Oh yeah,
very.
I don't know.
I do like
GoldenEye,
the Skyfall theme. I'm
GoldenEye's
sorry, I
theme
did.
is pretty.
Oh yeah, of its
GoldenEye's
time.
theme is. It's so good.
Of its time.
Yeah.
Time.
I wonder. So
Um,
you know how I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but this was actually one of the things that I brought up to my mom because she is also a huge James Bond fan, and so am I. And I noticed. Do you guys know? So in the opening theme, it's always like the silhouette of women, or like you'll see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's always gorgeous women or whatever in the opening theme song. If you go watch Casino Royale, it's like the Queen of Hearts, and so, like it's cards, like it's not actually silhouettes of women. And then if you watch the other themes, they're not there, at least not the way that they used to be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, those
So if you-
iconic Bond intros.
Yeah, those Bond intro, it's not there.
They're basically the cover of a smutty book, and nobody wants to go watch. Like it's not attractive if you take away the women. Like
Yeah.
if you look at all those romance novels and stuff with half naked men and women on them, people like that stuff. That
Mhm.
sells. It's so weird that you would take that away from James Bond.
And one of the
It's very
greatest
weird.
lies is that people don't judge books by their cover.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they go for the specific ones in that genre for the covers. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
I mean, even fantasy titles, if it's got a good cover, you're more likely to pick it up.
It's
Yep.
true.
Absolutely.
That's
Culture.
why our artists, Makini, are so important. So important.
Oh yeah.
I think Makini's signaling he's got to go.
Yeah, it's got sick. I'm gonna get
Alright.
going. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much. Like I said, I just dropped the listing for the new Etsy shop sticker. I'm about to go live. I got a few people with me waiting for me. It's gonna be me, my co-hosts Mads Mama Bear, Bruce Navarro, and Dashley, and Rosetta Allen, and then also we're bringing back Doris from Doris Jones Labors of Love as well. So we're going to be coloring this, and we're going to be showing off the new sticker. So before I go, I'll just show you this. So that's what I'm talking about.
Aw,
It's so pretty.
Nice.
that's awesome.
If you want to learn more into it, check out the stream afterwards. I'll put the link in the chat. And then the Etsy shop goes on. We're going to be shilling the hell out of this. So thank you guys so much. Love you guys so much. And I'll see you over on Makini Live. Take care, everyone.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that.
Look how beautiful that color turned out.
I know. I can't wait to see the rest of that. That's the other cool thing is you go and you watch his draw streams on a Sunday. And the reason I highlighted Subhuman 84 here is he had a bad blowout to start his day the other day. I just hope he's keeping safe on the road and everything's going well on his trailer.
I have a lot of respect for the man who kept that job and is still helping the country run.
Yeah, yes. and I'm grateful to everything that all the folks that are on the road distributing everything that we need for modern life are still up and at it. Now, I've seen some people say that maybe they should stop doing that for a few days and see what happens. So I don't really think that would be good for anyone.
No, but
just look at what is going on in Australia.
It's better than violence. But...
Bless your tires, bro. Absolutely awesome one.
Culture, I'm gonna have to bow out as well.
Oh no! All right. Well, I was so grateful for you to be here. I know it took a lot for you to make this happen, and I appreciate it. So why don't you promote yourself on the way out the door? You've been doing amazing stuff. You better tell people about it.
Well, I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me on. You guys, some amazing people on this panel. I watch everybody either on social media or on YouTube. Culture, I watch your stuff all the time. Every chance I get, Mackie, everybody. It's just, you guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. It's amazing. George, I'm looking forward to you starting your channel. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to supporting that. And everybody in the chat, you're all beautiful and wonderful. So I was on a live stream last night with Lethal Lightning, and we talked the first volume of Sailor Moon manga. It was a lot of fun. It's over on his channel if you want to go check that out. And this past Thursday, I did a 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie stream with Tom from Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. I have to throw that out there. And Steph, Minority Home. So that's up on my channel as well, along with a couple other live streams and some videos. I should have some more videos out soon, and it's going to cover lots of topics, lots of Lord of the Rings stuff, lots of Witcher stuff, lots of pop culture stuff. But this Thursday, I am going to be seeing Venom 2 in theaters. This will be the first movie I have paid for in theaters since Sonic, which I went to because of the reaction to the fans and the trailer with Sonic. And they were like, hey, we fixed it for you. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to support them because they actually respected us enough to listen that we didn't want this weird humanoid thing. So I'll be seeing Venom 2 and then going live right after to give my immediate reaction and review to it. And that'll be this Thursday. So that's kind of what I'm up to. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Lady G. We appreciate it. You are undervalued and underappreciated, and I'm glad you spent time with here so everybody could be exposed to more and more of your awesomeness. So thank you for being
Absolutely.
here.
I've been following Lady Gravemaster since I've been on Twitter, and it was great to finally be in pseudo person.
This was fun. I loved a lot. You nailed a lot of points. I was like, yes, I can see that we have, even if we don't agree on everything, I can see that we definitely strike a lot of the same chords. So that's always good to see. And I can't wait. I can't wait for your stories.
Yeah, they're going to be great. Anyway, like I said, I do appreciate it. Guys, do check out Lady G's channel if you're not already subscribed. Check out her content. She does amazing live streams. Yeah. Dude.
All right. Well,
thanks for being here. You're welcome. If you ever manage to rearrange your schedule again,
I will definitely let you know for sure.
All right, very good. Thank you,
Much
Lady
love,
G.
everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've been very blessed. We've got lots of people that stroll in through the channel every once in a while. You get something like Lady Gravemaster. You get somebody. You just get these special people, and I'm going to bring in as many as I can. I dropped a few other invitations today that apparently couldn't make it work out. So we'll continue to have more and more voices here. And I just want to say thank you to all of you that stuck around, even if you don't agree with us, even if you don't like me, which clearly there are some people in the chat today that don't like me. So, but it's okay. It's fine. All right. Well, let's, what do you guys want to dive into next? We've got, we've got another few things to talk about. Here's some information I didn't know. George Martin is really responsible for Live and Let Die soundtrack, including McCartney's theme song. Did not know that. Did not know that. Yeah. I know a super chat came in. And I couldn't highlight because it's gone now. But here's one I can from Andy McCallum for £10. Thank you, my friend. It says, a little something to support the channel. Well, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. And, that allows me to upgrade equipment and eventually get to a point where this will become a retirement gig for me. That's the ultimate goal, I think, is to make that part of the future, not the near future, but ways down the road. So thank you for that. I'm stoked. I'm about to. I just crossed 2,400 finally. It took a little longer than it should have. I don't know what was going on, but we're headed for 2,500 subs now here, and we're almost to 100 over on Twitch. So things are moving along. I appreciate it, all of you, each and every one of you guys. Yes, I said schedule. Larry.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's what I was always taught to say.
Yeah. Well, I like it. I like saying words like, and I do this all the time now. I use the word petrol instead of I'm going to go. I'm going to get gas. So I'm going to get petrol.
Do you wrap your food in aluminium?
Aluminium? No.
Yeah.
Although I do say that.
I spell color COLOUR, so it gives word fits.
And theater with an RE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look at that.
Most of the novels I read growing up were
click that like button.
From
Absolutely.
UK people. So
no, thank you, Andy. Appreciate you. I would be honored to participate on the show. Of course, Lindsay. I tell you what, we will set you up for a very, very near future Sunday. But I want to cover at least one more article, guys. I mean, we've got a few other things we could have talked about. And thank you for that, Mr. Dragon. Let's do this. Let's talk. You know what? Let's talk about something fun. This is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about something fun. Here's the long-range box office predictions for Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Now, a lot of people that have seen this, and there are some, have been saying wonderful things about this film, better than the first one even. And these are people that you could probably put a little bit of faith into. Although Andy Serkis said some really weird stuff about the relationship between the symbiote and our hero.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Andy Serkis is a weird dude. But
he's always been a little bit off tilt.
He's a weird dude, and maybe that's how he feels about it, because it is a relationship between a man and his symbiote, right?
That's what's made Andy so awesome over the years, because he really gets into the characters, and that being off tilt helps him.
And this will be the first movie I'm going to see in an actual theater since Joker.
Wow. Well, the box office predictions are out there, so here we go. Box Office Pro predicts that Venom: Let There Be Carnage will have a domestic weekend between 45 and 65 million. There you go. I think it's going to be higher than that. But
me too.
That's what Box Office Pro means. Now, Box Office Pro's missed on stuff recently, and so has many of the other tracking and projection folks. It happens, right? But
especially in this brave new world we're in.
That's true. And yeah, we can actually talk about that too. Let's get through this real super fast. They go on to predict that the film will earn between 100 and 140 million in its entire domestic run. Again, that's domestic. That's not global gross, right? So, it's going to pick up 50% of the receipts at the end of the day. So it'll rake in $70 million for the studio. You'll have probably a decent pickup internationally, and I know, isn't that cool?
Oh my goodness! I think it's going to make way more than what they're predicting.
Me too.
I really do.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
We're thirsty for good content. We just are.
Yeah.
Well, I will see this. I didn't like the first trailer, but the second, I think there was another one that just came out recently. Yeah. I liked that one a lot more than the first trailer, and I was like, "Oh, this doesn't look so bad now." Because I was like, But I saw that second trailer, and I was like, "Oh, that looks a lot better." Because I think they touched up some of the stuff, and they kind of fixed some stuff that was in the first one. So I was like, okay, because the first one's usually just hey, let's tease you some bit. A lot of stuff hasn't really been put in, and they go and touch things up more in the second one. So, go ahead, Culture.
No. All I was going to say is, you're right. The second trailer looked better. I mean, all the visuals on this are stunning. But to continue on this, and why I agree with Jack here is that the numbers are significantly below the first film, what the first film made on its opening weekend. And I think Jack's right. We're starved for this kind of escapist entertainment, and this is a mixed film, right? Because you have the horror elements, you have the superhero elements, you have a lot of that, weird balance that it seems to attract people to different projects, to different, I should say, films, right? So Venom, released in October 2018, earned $80.2 million in its opening weekend, and it went on to earn $213.5 million in its domestic box office cam. So I would say that if the low end of the projection holds, it's a 43% decline. Oops, I highlighted the wrong thing. There it is. From the first film for the opening weekend. On the high end, it's an 18.9% decline, so nearly 20%. Do you think it's going to fall off that much from the first film, especially when the buzz is starting to get real overwhelmingly positive? I mean, I know you lost 20% of your audience, right? They're never going to go back to theaters. Well, at least not for a while. Right. Don't.
I mean, there's going to be a long-term recovery.
The experts have pushed it. They said, well, it'll come back by 2024. And a lot of them are starting to talk about 2025 before we'll get back to 2018 kind of numbers, 2019 kind of numbers.
But look at the cast. Look at the images. I mean, this is even the promotion. This is what we've been begging for almost. Yeah. Even if it's not up to par with, say, Spider-Man 1 and 2 or something like that, this thing is going to make a lot more money than I think they believe it will.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people agree with that. So, and Nerium says, I don't know about Carnage, but they really made me laugh with Venom. And I like Tom Hardy. Well, hey.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go pretty well. Look at
who they got playing Carnage.
Yeah, it's a boy and his dog, Larry. Something like that.
It kind of is.
Yeah. A prediction. Oh, hey, look, Apex is here. Apex says $500 million.
That's pretty good to me in this day and age.
Yeah. Yeah, and Apex hopefully will be joining us at some point, if not today, here in the near future on a future show, a near future show. I'm looking forward to that. We've got a lot of people I try to get in here. I want to, especially people that have projects, I want to promote the heck out of that. So,
Tom just popped up in the chat too.
Oh, awesome. All right. Wow. Okay. I also have another super chat from our friend Naked Fame for $5. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. What I have become, my sweetest friend. Best song of the night. Well, thank you. That was from last night's karaoke over on Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. Hurt.
Yeah, I did the Cash version.
Yeah, Jack, Cash version is my favorite so far.
I love that song. Thank you for that, Naked Fame. It is it's one I like to sing. It's a great song. It really is. Yvonne Solomon says, I like the first Venom movie, but I also like the first Suicide Squad movie. So my taste in movies is questionable. Mine too. But I saw the extended non-theatrical cut of Suicide Squad, the first one, before I saw the original version of it, and it made a lot more sense that way. So
well, Yvonne, let me tell you something. As somebody who watches Kroll every so often,
Kroll.
I can. That was Liam Neeson's first movie, by the way. He played a robber.
Yeah, and Apex agrees. Second Venom should make more money. I agree too. And as everybody mentioned, Tom is here. What's up, Tom? I hope things are going well. I hope things are going well, my friend. I hope we'll be able to chat later. Memes has rolled into the house. What's up, Memes?
What's up, Memes?
Favorite people. Memes is a great guy.
Memes is awesome. Yeah.
I will do Wrong Way at some point, my friend. I will. Anti-heroes, Venom and Hisoka are my favorites. Joaquin Stark. That's cool. Let's see. Have they already announced if they greenlit Venom 3? I haven't heard anything. Tom would probably have heard something. If not, I believe they blow through their opening weekend. We will know how happy they are if they announce V3 after the Monday release. That's true. It's true. Yeah, and it's kind of the way it is. Although they announced Cruella 2 when that thing flopped really hard.
Isn't that kind of a marketing thing when they do that?
Yeah, that's to try to get the push on it. But Tom Hardy's a huge fan, and Lindsay's right. The movie's going to get a huge female audience because of him.
Yeah,
because and yeah.
I can't remember anything that I've seen Tom Hardy in that I didn't really like.
Well, yeah, he's like a David Boreanaz type. I mean, they both have the same look. A lot again. I mean,
I love Angel, so
yeah. Tom Hardy's a great actor. Yes, absolutely, Justin Normie, and Justin Normie's been busy all over the place doing his stuff right now. It's amazing. We've got so many great people. Justin Normie, you guys, so many channels.
Oh, when I get up in the morning, I've got like 600 some odd notifications. I love watching everybody's content. I just can't get to it all. And I might be there, but I might be writing. So
well, that's I run into that a lot because in the background I'm working. Like I'll be typing a script or whatever while I'm listening to one or two streams. I mean, sometimes I've got two streams running at the same time. I always tell people, I'm like, every once in a while I'll comment in a chat, and then once I do that, you get trapped. You get trapped in the chat. So it's like,
I might not always say something, but I'm usually in all the chats lurking too. So I'm doing stuff in the background too now.
Be quiet. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Just hang out in the back and then say, hey, I'm just leaving a like. Poof, gone.
Yeah.
Tina says, based on the negative comments on movie trailers and amusement park commercials, there's a much larger percentage of don't go out in public people than I thought there was. Nah, that's debatable. There was a really interesting Cullen video that dropped recently, and there's some others that I've watched that talk about the empty internet. Right, so that's a concept that I'd like to talk about, maybe on a comics division stream or something.
I think you should bring that up at the next Scream Park Cars.
They cover the collapse of space already. The part that nice, but I didn't really like the show Catastrophe. It was supposed to be. I came in the middle of a conversation there. Here we go. Beware of ruby-haired Oh my goodness, ruby-haired harpooned land whales and Jiminy Cucket. Okay, understood. See, Call is a great movie. You have friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just, I watched it when I was very young, and it was like one of the first space fantasy kind of deals.
Wait, are you talking about the one where he had the dagger that threw all over the place?
Yep.
That's an excellent movie. Yeah.
And Tom says the channel's still down because of what happened last night, which is really stupid.
My goodness.
Yeah, it is.
Let's try and finish this up because YouTube, Odin's movie blog, guys, subscribe to OMB Reviews, believes if these numbers hold, the movie will be a flop. I don't think he's right. He explains if these numbers do hold, this would not be a very good number for the film because even though we don't have official production budget, we can assume the film costs $150 million based on the fact that the typical big budget comic book is related films. That's what they cost. It's just the way it is. And those films usually don't cost any less than 150. So we're looking upwards of up to 200 million. So he's not wrong. 150 to 200 would be a reasonable assumption for production budget. Eventually those numbers get out in the wild though. And then you have to add into account the fact that when you take into account marketing and the fact that this movie has been delayed several times, that would also indicate that the cost would actually go up more. He's also not wrong. Same thing happened with Bond, which we just got done talking about.
Oh yeah, several different times.
Yeah, Box Office Pro's long range forecasts have been hit or miss. See, they were pretty accurate with Black Widow, where they predicted the film would earn $77 million in opening weekend. Black Widow slightly outperformed the prediction by going 80 in its opening weekend. They also predicted Black Widow would earn between 155 and 225. The film has only earned 183.1 so far. That's below the midpoint of 190. There you go. With Suicide Squad, they predicted the film would earn between 35 and 60 million in its opening weekend. The movie only earned 26 in its opening weekend. Yes, it way underperformed. And they predicted the film would earn between 75 million and 150 million in total domestic. The film has only earned 55 so far.
Let me ask you a question though. Is that are they giving any of the streaming numbers to that? Because I watched it on streaming. And
a lot of people did. I think and you can find the streaming numbers out there. Samba TV and some other digital sources will get you some of those numbers, get you close to it. Occasionally a service now will slip and give you their actual consumption numbers. That's a good.
Maybe it was on target, and we're just not seeing the numbers because of the stream.
Yeah, but there's no revenue on the HBO Max day and date release. I mean,
That's
you're making an assumption that it translated into subscriptions, and that's a problem. And I think that's where I think that's why Disney's already softened the ground for their slowing of subscriber growth. So with that being said, I do have to stop, take a pause, because we have another panel member that has to go before we finish, and I want them to have adequate time to promote themselves. So AFK Bard, thank you for joining us. Been a couple weeks. You are always welcome and appreciated here.
Well, thanks. I I don't have anything to promote again for myself, but everybody here is super awesome, and honestly, check out the Fandom Collective. They do a pretty good job of promoting new people, and I fail every time. So so it's just fun being here. Thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome. I appreciate it. Every time you're here, you have people that are just, thrilled when you're around. So Lasso of Truth, many others. So thank you for your time today. Guys, check out AFK's channel. If you like retro reviews and stuff like that, AFK's channel is a lot of fun. Hopefully AFK starts reading to us again. It's a good way to fall asleep. And AFK might fall asleep while doing it also. But I know the real world came back with a vengeance for you. So I do look forward to you putting content out there again.
Well, thanks very much. You guys have a great afternoon.
All right. Thanks, AFK.
We'll see you, AFK.
AFK is awesome. I really appreciate AFK.
Yeah.
All right.
She's super awesome.
Yeah, and we are going to wind down on this. But I just thought it was an interesting takeaway. There's no way this film is going to underperform as much as they think it is.
Look at that.
I know.
Jeez,
I know.
Please.
Yeah, but things are starting to look too plasticky. I can't remember who said it, but somebody recently said that because there's so much CGI creation on everything. Of course, they go on to talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. They predicted the film would have an opening weekend between 35 and 55, and it opened at 75.3. We've already discussed why this overperformed and why. And then it returned to the mean. It returned to where they right in the middle of the projection right away, because you can't artificially sustain bologna sausage like that, right? Where you have a handful of people in the theater, even though the showing's supposedly sold out. But right now, by the way, Shang-Chi domestically is way over this number now. I think it hit 200 million this weekend. So, and congratulations.
I haven't seen it yet, so
yeah, it needed to. But I think look at that.
Yeah,
Woody. I think people are wildly wrong with this one. I think it's going to do very well. But I do want to say,
who doesn't like Woody?
I don't know. Even though he's out there politically,
well, he's a little crazy, but
he's always been. Yeah, he's always been.
I'm starting to get better at separating the content from the artist.
And you have to be. You have to be. Andy McCallum, thank you for the very generous super chat of £20. Says, what the hell? Here's another little something. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I love this channel and the community here. It's important to support content creators. You guys are partly the reason why I've started my channel. Keep up the good work. Well, hey, I appreciate that. I love that each channel inspires another and another and another. It's a beautiful thing, and I've really appreciated it. And your support is amazing. So thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. You get.
Well, I tell you what, if it weren't for this fellowship at YouTube, I wouldn't be writing stories. I would have been, it was a dream I had to write and let it go. But I'm putting out stories all the time. Some of them good, some of them maybe mediocre, but I'm writing, and I wouldn't have been doing that without all of you guys.
Well, I'm glad we inspired you, and I love your story. So I can't wait for the month of October. I'm very excited to see the first one. We'll talk about it on the way out, but I have a couple more people to run through. Shellbox says, every time CC says bologna sausage, I get hungry. Well, sorry about that. And then an incredibly generous super chat from our friend George Molo. Thank you for the $49.99, my friend.
Wow.
I was going to say, George. But I can't do it. Gary does that better than anybody. It's still the best meme. The lady that lives next door to Gary with the two pillows, and the chat bubble says George. It's freaking amazing.
Yep.
So great. But anyway, for $49.99, George says, congratulations, Culture, on hitting 2.4. Clear your schedule. You're on your way to 10K. Hail Culture Casino. Well, thank you, George. I really hope that's the case, which means I need to start working out now, because apparently I'm doing a shirtless stream, or I might take my shirt off during a stream and when I hit 10K for that celebration. So, but George, this is incredibly generous. I do appreciate it every time you support the channel, but I appreciate you more. This is just a bonus. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it very much. Man, thanks, George. This is such a great fellowship of humans. I'm always surprised. I'm always amazed. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Tom. George.
Oh, so great.
Gosh.
It's so great. We have the best chat. We always do.
Yeah, George with a home run super chat. Absolutely. George is the best. I'm going to hit the button. I don't know if you can hear the claps. I don't know if any of that's going through. Is it working?
No, we can. Yeah, it just went through.
All right, very good. Thank you, George. I don't have the clown horn, George, so I won't accidentally hit the clown horn button.
Like Gary always does.
That's uniquely Gary, though.
Yeah, that's Gary. That's Gary's thing. Accidentally hitting it.
Disease for $2 says, here, go buy 5 million more Shiba coins. Absolutely. No problem. Gonna do that. God, I think I'm gonna target like 500 more dollars worth of Shiba. I think you'd be surprised. There's a lot of great coins out there right now for the crypto market. I actually think that when you keep an eye out, because I know 14 Barber and I are going to start talking a little bit about crypto over on his channel. So you might see, you might see some of those conversations. Yeah, I wish I could hit the clown horn. I just don't have it, Larry. I'm sorry. George Molo, please clap. You guys are awesome. I can see it now. Casino in a hot tub shirtless, and the ladies go wild. Not right now. Maybe in about 6 months. Not right now. Dark Shadow Logan, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I better start hitting the gym and go like Hugh. Yeah, I am going to go on the Hugh Jackman diet. I'm actually already on the keto plan.
Yeah, me too. That's how I lost. I weighed almost 400 pounds at one point.
Yeah, it works every single time. George is probably going to get sick of everybody saying George. Yeah, I know. George is the best, though. Okay, guys. Let's. I got my money on Cardano. Yeah, absolutely. CDA is a good investment, or excuse me, it's it's ADA on the exchange. So yeah, I'm gonna
have to listen because I've been considering getting into crypto. So.
Well, I mean, hey, if the IRS is going to monitor every dollar down to 600 now. They're not doing that because you're rich.
On that subject, I do have a story called Death and Taxes. So
I know. Just a normie says, I missed it. I'll get to you in a second, Lindsay. I've lost since the thing. I lost 80 pounds due to being diagnosed. Holy cow, just a normie. Diabetes. That's not a great diagnosis.
That's why I went on keto. Keto is the best diet for diabetes. It really is.
Yeah, you eliminate the whole problem with blood sugar because you're using ketones. So
yeah, I don't even have to take medicine anymore.
Yeah. Shelldoc says, I cannot do keto. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend. I need to know Gina Carano's secret is. Her type of body are goals. No, absolutely. Become an MMA fighter.
She's a real person. That's the thing. She's a real person.
Yeah. Oh, we were going to talk about this just real fast. Keep going. I pulled this story. We didn't even get to Doctor Who.
That's what I was going to say. What were you not going to talk about Doctor Who?
Okay, we'll spend a few minutes on it because I want your perspective. AFK would have been perfect for this, and I feel like I'm bummed now that this didn't happen. But I think we covered this. Did we cover this right off the beginning? We may have. Dude, they mined 77 million cum through the second early offshore frame, so it's doing very well internationally. It had a very small fall off. Did we cover this at the beginning of the stream? I felt like we did. I think
we talked about it right before.
Oh, right before we went live. Yeah. It's so far the total 76.5 million. It's only fallen off slightly. Its overall drop from opening is 32%. That is a much lower drop than we've seen in modern releases, either domestically or internationally. So the fact that it's still on pace this way in the limited number of markets it's in, now up to 32 markets. People
I trust have seen it and said it's good, so I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to go to a theater and pay to see it for sure.
Yeah, and it held its number one standing in all the major markets that it was released in: Russia, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain.
I really want the second one, so I really want to make sure that this thing makes money.
Yeah, it's holding better than 40%. That's really, really good. And then in IMAX, Dune added another 3.1, and it's only on an average of 167 screens. So that's a pretty decent number there too. Dune only dropped 29% in IMAX to become the highest IMAX movie during the first 11 days of the thing. So there you go. So it's going to be a good film, or at least it's appreciated film. I'm pretty stoked, to be honest with you. I really am.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this to come out, Culture, because
Yeah.
I read the books and I was around. I got to see the first one in the biggest screen theater we have where I live. It's not there no more, but yeah, it was awesome seeing that. But yeah. So I can't wait for this. So
I can't wait. I think it's going to be great.
I've seen every adaptation of Dune, the miniseries.
You saw the series? I need to go back in time and figure out a way to watch that.
It's decent, and you get more of the story, but still, it's not right there with the book.
But isn't it Sci-fi? Didn't they make it? Sci-fi Network.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And Lindsay's right. I mean, there are a lot of people that feel this way. They're hyped for Dune. It sounds like a movie right up your alley, of course. I love epic and grand, especially in sci-fi. Yeah, this thing, according to Andre, it's so atmospheric, it blows your mind.
Well, I've read every Dune novel, the good ones, the bad ones, the ugly ones. I've read, I love Dune. I love that whole concept and universe. It's amazing.
Yeah. Stormhard Eisenkeel is in the house. Haven't seen you in a bit, my friend. Good to see you.
Hey, just 1 second, Culture.
No,
hey,
sure.
You guys, if you want to hear and learn about Dune before you go see the movie, definitely go over to Nerd Cookie's channel.
Oh, yes.
They do a tremendous job, and Elaine's so amazing in her breakdowns of everything Dune. So please go over there and take a look at some of those videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Elaine does such a great job. You should be subscribed to that channel. If you like that, if you like BSG, I mean, she is a repository of knowledge and lore.
It's like every subject she comes up with, I'm like, I really like that show. She's really good.
Yeah. Check out Machini's store. Joachim Starks' book 5 is the best Dune book. You know what? I think you would have a great conversation with Nerd Cookies. I think you guys would be fun. When I was overseas, I read as much as I could get my hands on with Dune to Starship Troopers. Cool. I can't believe I never read Dune. It's been on my list for years, but I never made time for it. It's good. It's just you gotta put time in.
I would like
you gotta put some time into it.
I would like to make a comment on the Starship Troopers statement.
Yeah.
If you liked the movie, it was all right. So they took the Starship Troopers novel and they adapted it for the movie. The book they used to help adapt it was called Armor, and it was written by the same guy who wrote Vampires with a Money Sign. And it is a very good novel, and it's I think it's getting close to being out of copyright. So it is also on Audible. It is a very, very good novel if you like the Starship Trooper genre. John Stakely, I believe, is the name of the guy who wrote it.
Yeah. And Andy, you're welcome to do that. You have a link, or you have a wrench at the moment, so go ahead. Mispronounced says, don't be overhyped for Dune. It's not nearly as good as it could have been. 84 version is still good in comparison. Really? All right. I won't be overhyped then. I'll step back my expectation. But I was really worried going into this. I really was.
Me too. I was expecting they may do the same thing they've been doing for the past 5 years. So, but hopefully, yes,
this is interesting.
Every time somebody talks about, an actor's not good for this role or this or that, I didn't think Heath Ledger would make a good Joker either.
Well, nobody thought Michael Keaton was going to be a good Batman.
A good Batman.
Either.
Yeah,
Right.
you're not. Yeah, there's stuff like that all the time. It's one of the reasons why I make fun of sparkly Batman, but I'm still going to see the film. We'll decide if it's good. Then.
I'm going to go see it. I'm going to see it too because it's probably going to be on HBO Max or HBO, whatever.
Some of the storytelling stuff's going to bother me, but that
poor guy has Twilight's following him around forever,
and it will forever until he does something else of note. I mean, Christian Bale was the same with the American Psycho film, before he did Batman. So maybe that's the thing that gets that off your back, right? That
I mean, because the kid's a good actor.
He is. He was. I mean, if you've seen him, I mean, I appreciated him in freaking Tenet. And of course, I liked Tenet, but I don't want to get into that. George, for another $50, $49.99. Thank you, George. Again, just incredibly generous human. I really appreciate it. It says, whether it's the lowdown on behind-the-scenes babble on Babylon boozers and their Tinseltown flicks, there is one based voice pulling the curtains back. The Culture King fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. Hail Culture Casino. Wow, that is so complimentary, George. Thank you for that.
You need a trailer based on that statement right there.
Oh, man, I do. I need somebody to read this. I did read this, and that will be the new trailer for my channel, right? Somebody reading this amazing super chat. Well, George, thank you. I'm inspired by so many others. I feel like I've been catapulted to the 2,400 people that I have as subs now. I never anticipated more than 100 people looking at this at my channel, and I appreciate every one of you, everybody that's here. George, thank you for your support of this. Again, the entire fellowship. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see your channel, guys. Check out George the Giant Slayer. Subscribe early, subscribe often.
Yeah.
Sounds like I was telling you to go vote, doesn't it? Anyway.
Right. Brightest Day just said the soundboard isn't coming through on.
Oh, it's not? You guys aren't hearing the claps?
Well, he just sent in a super chat for it, so I wanted to make sure you got that right.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I feel bad. I'll make that. I'll fix that. I'll make that adjustment for the next.
I'm considering getting one, so
it works. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, George. There were claps happening for you, my friend. Yeah. Let's see. And Andy did post the channel, so that's fantastic. So but we're gonna have to wrap up on the note that we're going to end on, which is the conversation around Doctor Who. Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies to return for the next season. Now, when they say the next season, that's not the one that's coming right now. That's the one after the one that's coming right now, which means we get Chibnall and Jodie for one more set of episodes.
I heard somebody say
basically it's going to be 2 more years if you think about it. But
the way the BBC does things, yes.
Yeah. So in 2023, he will step in and take over. But yeah, we basically have 2 more years of it. So,
well, and I heard somebody recently say Jodie is a good actress, and I went and I watched a few other things, and Jodie is a terrific actress. I think she's in an impossible situation. Having to promote.
And what was that show she was on with David? That was a good show.
It was.
I really did like that show, but her along with I'm gonna bear firm because I'll slip and say something I shouldn't about him. But so I think her and most of it was him telling Jodie they got to do this and everything else because you go Church Hill or Church Street or Broadchurch. Thank you, LT. Broadchurch. That was really good. I like that. That was good with her and David and that. But I think it was mostly him and the BBC going, hey, you got to have this, check this off, check that off. Because they did the same thing to Capaldi too. So
well, and you think about it, a lot of these actors that go woke and they're talking points that they're given by the studios.
Yeah,
Capaldi, so we don't really know what they really believe.
Yeah, well, we know what Capaldi because he's made it bluntly known how he feels. My thing would be, and I've said this over on Noel's channel, that what they need to do is the they just totally need to, like, when Russell comes back, he needs to, how do you say it, when they revamp everything? Retcon. Yeah, retcon. They need to retcon it to where a lot of the stuff, it was just, and we all came up with this joke. Just do the Newhart joke, where Capaldi suddenly wakes up, or have David or one of the new, but I think it would work well if Capaldi, they gave it, it's not going to probably happen. Like, this is a 95% chance he's not coming ever back. Like, unless Russell is like, hey, we're going to do this for you. I'm sorry this happened. Because Russell, like, being honest, he balances left and right in the middle. So he goes all over the scale. Okay, Russell does do that. You can see it. Because, he did Coupling and a bunch of other stuff. So Coupling was hilarious. But season 3 and 4 was kind of bad. But 1 and 2 were just excellent. But I think what they need to do is they need to, like, hey, we're sorry, brother. Let him wake up and say everything was a dream. That the person that was been going around was the Valiant or something, or the Ronnie or something, and he has to go through this season trying to, put together. Well, I was in a dream this whole time, and or they need to just do something, like, and like just get back on to how it was, and then. Then at the end of the season, Capaldi regenerates for real this time into the new Doctor, and then they go into the 60th and everything else. So, but that's just my take on that.
Right.
But But
Someone said before the stream, it's going to be like taking a ball of Play-Doh with different colors that's been mashed together and pulling it back apart. And I think that's a really good analogy.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard, but if anybody can do it, it can be the guy that saved Who the first time. This would be the second time. But anyway, real quickly with these super chats, super stickers, and the one that I missed because I finally pulled it out. Brightest Day for $2 says the soundboard isn't coming through on our end. I will work on that. Thank you for that. I feel bad because I like to clap for people that do amazing things. George is using George Reeves' Superman's opening words. There you go. Adam Callum send a thank you heart for a super sticker for allowing him to post his link anytime, my friend. We like to promote other channels here. And I think there was another one that flowed in. Am I caught up? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to read the one that I can't highlight anymore. It's called a classic super chat. I'm stealing that from Andre right now over at Midnight. I'm going to say this. This is from Alien Xenomorph for $4.99 US. Says, love my CC mug and shirt. It was smart that you picked Micah Curtis to make and sell it in his store for you. I'm sure that made it a lot easier. Cool. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Thanks for that. Appreciate the $4.99 super chat, my friend. Let's see. We've got Cody Guy's here. Here we go. Capaldi can do more seasons with good writing. Yeah, he probably could. Classic soup our chat. There you go. Very good. Let's see. We'll have to see, George, with the Disney stuff. I mean, you guys are right now, you're talking about something else that was on my radar, but
I think we need more information.
I mean, we know what's happening here. Did I put it in the right window? Nope, I put it in the wrong window. Oh, let's try again. Oh, bad culture. Marvel's suing Stan Lee's family to keep Avengers characters. I think Ditko's having the same fight right now. I think look, artists are supposed to be able to reclaim their work at a certain point in time, right? I mean, this was something that was allowed for because these corporations, you can't hang on to something ad infinitum. So Xenomorph's leaving. So
I know a few people that have sold things to Hollywood, and they had in their contract that after a certain time period it reverted back.
Yeah, and it's beyond that though. And like I said, I mean, it's not something I've properly, applied myself to reading about, but I just find it interesting. First of all, suing Stanley's estate so that they can hang on to something that belongs to Stan Lee. Odd.
They really disrespect Stan and Steve on this. Like, it's just, is there anything that Disney will not do? Like, we've seen it in the past couple years. There is no line they'll cross over every single line. They don't care.
These are the people in charge. These aren't the people that work every day at Disney.
I want to make that clear. It's not the people that are at the parks or doing the minimal. It's the higher ups that are in charge that are doing this.
I mean, we're in a weird place, and this is a good suggestion from Dark Shadow Logan. Thank you. I haven't seen you for a bit. I hope everything's going well. Says, if you're able, DM or have Gary or someone talk to Nick Rekieta. Yeah, Nick's probably a great source. You can actually just pop into one of his streams and shoot it, because I guarantee you he'll be more than happy to talk with you about it, George.
And I bet that this will eventually show up on Viva Barnes on Sundays.
Oh, it might. Yeah. Viva Fry and Barnes. Oh, by the way, just a cool man. That's a cool dude. Met him in Vegas. Naked Fame for $2. Hello. Glenn Fry is greater than Don Henley. Well, I actually like Smuggler's Blues, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I actually like both.
I should try singing that sometime.
The
CJH, thank you, my friend, sends a super sticker for 99 cents. It's a cool smiley face with glasses. Thank you for that.
You know how important music is when you write? It is so
important. Man.
I mean,
it is. The same BBC team that made horrible miniseries about Dracula. We'll have to see. Hologram Nunchuck weighs in. And Stan Lee and other Marvel OG characters save billions from Marvel, Disney, and Hollywood. It's very true.
Now before we leave culture about the Disney thing, just one little quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think Chapek is on the road to fixing a lot of this stuff? Because I've been encouraged by a few things that he said, or I've heard that he said.
Hard to say. Let me say that I'm not going to say he's not talent friendly. I'm saying he's more retail minded.
Well, I know he's a penny pincher. So
yeah, but that's because he's retail minded, which is why you're getting such uniformity in their hotel properties. So there's not going to be a lot of distinction anymore, which is 1000% against show, the rules of show.
Right.
So they're abandoning one of their keys, at least in the theme park element of the company, in their hotel industry as well. But we'll have to say, it's possible. I mean, he's already kind of directing the studios that way, into that more of a retail mindset. Does that make sense? I mean, he's but that's his thought process. It's like this was kind of my worst fear with Paul Pressler, if Paul Pressler had been in a position to take over the company way back when, because he was so retail oriented, and it was more about products, and then he tried to turn the parks into products, and that's essentially what Chapek's doing. But he's also turned the film studios, all of the ones they control, into products as well. I mean, Marvel is a product now. It's beyond a brand.
Let's be clear. I don't want Disney to go away. I just want it to be good. And I don't know what, I mean, all I can do is argue against giving them money until they change their ways. That's all.
Yeah, and Parrot Head, I may have said Ditka, the coach, or I meant Ditko, the comic artist. So yes, I know the difference. It's quite possible. I misspeak a lot. It does happen. But let me say this. I hope this is true, Apex. I can't wait to have you on, man. I really can't. But Nancy, so good to see you. I hope you're doing well.
Hey.
Can you have one without the other at this point? Don't know. Good question.
Yeah.
I like
Disney
what,
great again. That'd be good.
I like what Redshirt said. And it's true. Penny pinching is what destroyed the Imagination Pavilion at Epcot.
Destroyed it, twice.
Yep.
Not just once.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. There's no lie there. The Heat is On with Glenn Fry's great song.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so let's do this. We have to the Bears. That's right, yeah.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Greatest Saturday Night Live skit in recent memory.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many great things happened at a period of time that we will never get back. Comedic moments because you can't have fun anymore.
Now, my dad says that it'll come back in a cycle.
Yeah, it will. It will.
Yeah, it
Dragon
will.
Multimedia, hail, my friend. Somebody who is a comic creator, somebody who's marketing their own book called Shift right now on Indiegogo, and likely will relaunch that campaign as required. # save Figment. I agree. Even casinos misspeaks our culture. Well, thank you, Tina. I love you too. I was there at the karaoke duet of CC and Tom. It was a lot of fun. We always have a good time doing that. George says, I want Disney to go back to Disney's original philosophy and get back to making magic and not agenda-driven drivel. I agree with you, George. Believe me, that's my number one argument right now. Wait, is Culture Dreamfinder? Gosh, I wish. What a great character creation. And see, that was the whole point of I'm not going to do this. We'll do this on Lorena's channel.
You could do this for like 2.5 hours.
I know. I will go on about Disney forever. You guys don't want me to get there.
I shouldn't ask, but I'm truly concerned because there's so many great things that could come out of Disney.
Oh yeah,
there is. The imagination isn't there no more. Like it used to be.
Believe it or not, there's still some minds. There's not many left. I mean, they've slowly forced them out. There's an amazing woman that works there now that I have faith in. But again, I mean, inside baseball, with that.
And say what you will about Jon Favreau, at least he cares about his products.
He does, absolutely, everything he's ever made. And again, I mean, watch the film Chef that he made, and
oh my god, it's amazing.
Chef is awesome.
and then place that in your mind as that's what happened to him on his way out of Marvel the first time.
Now, also, he has a show on Netflix, I believe, that is Chef, where he's going to restaurants and learning how to cook things.
That's awesome.
That's a very good show as well.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, we need the fans. We need the fans back. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna wrap up. I want these two gentlemen to plug themselves on the way out. We'll start with Jed because he was tardy.
Yeah. Oh, because of the pupper. So
nah, that's fine, brother. Go ahead. I'm just teasing.
I know. Well, my name's Jed, and I am part of Cotton Connection, the Rogues. And others around the place. And we just started a new channel. We haven't got the banner or anything up yet, but there's some big things coming soon. And I also, along with Retro, started a pop culture archivist. So we have 2 places now where you're going to be seeing in Retro and Culture and a bunch of other rogues and everybody else and Con Connection and a bunch of other people who are going to be coming over there. And hopefully George, because George said he's going to come kick it over there with us too over there at some point when he gets everything set up. So yeah, you can either follow us over at Pulp Culture Archivist or our new place, the Screwballs over there. So over at Screwball Society, it's a lot of people are like, who's that? I was like, oh, it's just that's the reason why I put Jed and Retro Screwball Society, because me and Retro are like nobody, some people didn't know unless we were on the streams all the time. So that's the reason why we did it. So thank you guys, and always support Culture because Culture is awesome. He is one of my brothers. He helped teach me a lot and stuff too. So
absolutely,
I do my best for all of you. That's all I can do. But thank you, Jed, for that promotion, and do check out both of Jed's channels. Of course, now we have to talk to the story man himself. He's going to promote everything.
So, do you mind if I share something?
No, go ahead. Of course. Why would I mind?
No, let's cancel. Let me share.
You are more than welcome. Did you notice that? Did you notice that your microphone's orange? I just didn't.
Yes. Yes, it is. Go back here. All right.
Oh, guys, if you didn't wish Steph, my nerdy home, a happy birthday on Friday, go ahead and follow up today, either on Twitter or Minds or whatever. Just or even just pop in her channel and send her some love. All right, this is our good friend, Storyman Jack.
It's kind of short.
It is time. We will take over. For it will soon be the season of the night, and mankind must be shown. For 31 days we will explore that darkness that lurks at the hearts of mankind, the depravity, the sharp stink of fear, and the deep horror that plague us all. Join us for 31 days of Halloween, beginning Friday, October 1st.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, that's
And then I made
awesome.
a special intro for the actual stories, and I already have one uploaded that will drop at 8 p.m. Central Time, Friday, October 1st, and it is called Zombie Nana.
That's
And
going to be great.
It'll introduce Redneck Randy and Dimwit Dave.
You're gonna have to. I tell you what. After that premieres next Sunday, we should probably talk about it.
There you go.
The Shadow knows, absolutely. You guys, I really appreciate it. Thanks for promoting each other. Thanks for supporting each other. None of us will none of us will grow without each other. Just realize that every single time. But and again, we wouldn't be here without you. Thank you to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you more than you'll ever possibly know. And of course, I'm going to end the show the same way I always do. I'm going to say, be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene, and you should have been doing it your whole life. And until next time, bye.
And like Steven says, wash your ass.